This segment is sponsored by Hilltop Wealth Solutions.
Well, after the season of spending, it might be time to start a season of savings.
Really?
Not for me, but for others.
I wrote those words, right? Yeah. Well, Erik Brenner of Hilltop Wealth Solutions is back to provide guidance about financial plans for the new year. Take a look. Well, we have entered a new year, and so why is it important for people to evaluate their financial plan at the start of a new year?
Well, people do have New Year's resolutions, and of course, a lot of people don't keep them. And so it's just a good time to really think about what you want to achieve financially. And I suggest, picking a couple, 2 or 3 really financial objectives that you want to achieve in the new year.
So when we're looking at those few 2 or 3, what are some of the most important financial considerations to evaluate?
Yeah, I think it really depends on where they're at in the stage of life. So, someone going into retirement, 5 years or less, they really should probably focus in on, are they doing enough in retirement? Is their investments balanced enough? Are they on track? And do they really have a plan? If they're younger, then maybe it's kids' education and other goals. So it just depends on the stage of life that someone is in.
And when we enter a new year, we're kind of now entering into tax season. What are some tax considerations that people need to start thinking about?
Yeah, we are entering into tax season. It seems like it's here very quickly, and with a new administration that's going to be going in, and we really don't know what the tax laws are going to be. We're really encouraging people to make sure that they meet with a professional and make sure that they're really planning their tax situation. Tax preparation and tax planning are 2 different things, Jackie. Tax planning is really critical, and that's looking forward and taking advantage of potential tax breaks that they may have available to them.
Well, we're talking about the new year, but let's talk a little bit about last year and IRA contributions. Can individuals still contribute to those funds that they have?
So if they are eligible to contribute to an IRA, they still can contribute to that IRA up until April 15th of this year for 2020. So they do still have some time. And in fact, they could get their taxes done, indicate that they've contributed either to a traditional IRA or a Roth IRA. And as long as they get the money in before April 15th, they'll be fine.
So with a new year, there are some maybe new things that are going to come about in 2021 that maybe weren't in 2020. When you're talking about investments and you're kind of trying to forecast this coming year, how can you advise individuals coming from 2020 into 2021?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of we get asked that a lot, as you can imagine, as to where do we see the markets going and what's going to happen. And certainly I don't think the markets ended up where folks thought. I mean, it really ended up positively. So going forward, I think because we're still really in the middle of this global pandemic, short term, Jackie, we're seeing some ups and downs coming. We've had really kind of runs in technology stocks like Apple and some other technology stocks. And so what I would encourage people to do is just continue to focus on what their risk is, what they're comfortable with, and really look at determining whether they need to make changes.
Well, you had mentioned making assessments in the new year, but how regularly should folks really take into consideration their financial plan?
Yeah, what we recommend is, typically someone take a really good deep dive once a year, and then at least a couple times a year checking in to make sure that they're on track. And then maybe more often as economic and times change. So, things in the market and so forth, or if goals change, someone maybe switches jobs or something like that, then certainly checking in to make sure that they're still on track for their goals.
Well, Erik, where can our viewers go for more information and to chat with you and your team if they have more questions?
Yeah, so they can go to hilltopwealthsolutions.com. They can also call the number on the screen. And we are now offering a 30-minute consultation, and we'll do this via phone or Zoom, just based on the pandemic right now. And what we do there is really just help understand their situation. We can help them in taxes, insurance, overall financial planning, investments, and just understand where they're at and where do they want to go, and really help them with that checklist for the new year.
Well, Erik, thank you so very much for joining us here this morning once again on Hometown Living. Hilltop Wealth Solutions free 30-minute consultation. Just give them a call at 574-212-0446 or visit hilltopwealthsolutions.com.
Also, we want to remind you that you can watch the weekly TV show Your Wealth Health every Saturday morning at 9:30 on Fox Michiana.